Oh yeah! There's only one thing that can bring this world together, and that begins with you. The word begins with you, not you. I'm gonna tell you what word it is. Usury! On the dance floor. Get that ass up. Bankers, get on the floor. Bankers, make the people poor. Bankers, get more paid. Bankers, get more laid. Get more laid. I wanna see your ass poor. CEOs, yeah, I'm talking to you. Get more hoes, get more paid, get more votes, get more laid. I wanna see the CEOs ruining lives to the beat. Ruin those lives in 141 BPMs.
Tell us about
interest rates. I wanna see the bankers on the floor. I wanna see your ass poor. Make it clap. Make it fiat clap. Shake that ass. Usury on the dance floor. Make the people poor. Bankers, get more paid. Bankers, get more laid. Only one thing can bring this world together. Destruction of the middle class. And more fiat cash in my bank account. Bankers, get on the floor. Bankers, make the people poor. Bankers, get more paid. Bankers. Oh yeah! There's only one thing that can bring this world together, and that begins with you. The word begins with you, not you. I'm gonna tell you what word it is. Usury! On the dance floor. Bankers, get that ass up! Bankers, get on the floor. Bankers, make the people super poor. RAPE, middle class. Bankers, shake that ass. Sweet cream. Sweet cream. CEOs. Yeah, I'm talking to you. CEOs, I wanna see you up on them toes. On the dance floor. Get more hoes, get more paid, get more votes, get more laid. I wanna see them CEOs ruining lives to the beat. Ruin those lives in 141 BPM. Bankers, get on the floor. Bankers, make the people poor. Bankers, get more paid. Bankers, get more laid. CEOs, get on your toes. Your base. Where's the interest rates? I wanna see the bankers on the floor. I wanna see your ass poor. Fiat. Fiat. Usury on the dance floor. Haha! Oh yeah! Only one thing can bring this world together. Destruction of the middle class! Haha!
Quasimodo, Quasimodo. Got lots of bitches calling me on my mobile. Quasimodo, I got a natural flesh patch right there for my mobile. I live a life Quasimodo. My bitches be calling me Master Modo. You don't even understand this flow though. When I get older, will I still have an effed up shoulder? Quasimodo. High school kids making fun of me and call me Play-Doh. On this back part right here, just this part is Play-Doh. Quasimodo, I'm up in my castle. It's very dank.
I found her humpback chick, she was stank on it. Quasimodo, looking for a Quasimodo. Quasimodo, you don't even know what it's like with a little bitty friend on your back like this right here. I got a little brother on my shoulder. Quasimodo, I just bought a weird modified Lambo so that I can drive in a weird way inside a modified Lambo. You don't even understand my flow though. But this was very helpful for my therapy. Quasimodo, Quasimodo.
I got married to a Funko Pop.
Oh, oh, oh. Ooh.
We got credit card.
Joint in a Subway shop. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh.
I'm married to a Funko Pop. Oh, oh, oh.
Ooh.
Vitamins and minerals, they come to me through a tube. My whole life is spent.
Watching on the tube.
Whoa, oh, oh. Whoa, oh, oh, oh.
Oh, oh, oh.
Funko, oh, 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 oh. We got credit card to send us.
Coitus. Y'all ready? Y'all feeling it? I feel it. Come on. Oh yeah. Well, I tried to tell you so, but I guess you didn't know. As the saddest story goes, baby, now I got the flow. Cause I knew it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, then I had to come again and show you that I'm real. You lied to me. All those times I said that I love you. Yes, I try. Yes, I try. Even though you know I die for you. Yes, I cry. Yes, I cried. Here it is. Come on. Oh my gosh. Here I am. Oh, once again. Watch my flow. Oops. Watch my flow again. Here I go. From back up in the game. Running things to take my swing. Now I suddenly transitioned into Be Real all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on. I can't sing because the allergies are so crazy. I can't hit any notes. Welcome, everybody. It's time for Snorting Espresso, the live stream show where we snort espresso. It's what they did, you know what's wrong, and all the nasty things you've done. So baby, listen carefully while I sing my comeback song. You lied to me, cause she said she'd never turn on me. But you did, but you did. All this pain you said I'd never feel. But I do. Here it is. Hold on. Don't you know? Here I go. A little girl wants my pearl. Up and down, round and round.
Mark, stop worrying about your big break. For God's sake, I need a real man. Stop.
Now we got the money flowing. Now the pay piggies be coming out the woodworks. Little pay piggies just merging out of the woodworks, throwing down the money, baby. And that's why I'm here. To stack cash. To stack fiat worthless cash. Oh, yeah. What are we going to do tonight? Tonight, I'm going to read Choose Your Own Adventure. And you choose what we're going to do. It was night. You're standing on a flat top of a stone pyramid. Eliminate confirmed. Men dressed in long green robes crowd around you. They chant and sing in a language that you don't understand. That was the song that we were singing. That's what that cult was singing. You look into the misty night for your friend Tom. Suddenly you see him. He's struggling for his life. He's strapped to an altar. His arms and legs are tied down. Tom's terrified eyes meet yours and see him in the woods. He mouths, "Help me, please." A man in robes steps forward and slides a knife across Tom's throat. "No!" You scream out as you reach for Tom. You lunge forward. All right, we're going to skip all that. Turn to page 6. Do you decide to get help with Dr. Lopez? Or do you run to the Chichen Itza? Here's Dr. Lopez.
Hey, fool. You want a little help or something, bro? Because you barely got out of the cult, man. Hey, bro, they were singing Return of the Mac against you. Hey, listen. You better come with me if you want some help, bro. Don't go to Chichen Itza. They got bad salsas, bro.
Do we go to page 8? Excuse me, page 7 or page 38? You want Chichen Itza? Or you want to get help from Dr. Lopez? What y'all want? We're running from the Return of the Mac cult. The Mac Morrison cult. It's right here. I'm trying to ask you. Nobody wants to know. George Lopez. Now I just feel like singing, but I can't sing tonight. I don't have any voice.
Y'all remember the Wine Mom rap?
You got Frankie Chardonnay, Pinot Grigio, coming out the wazoo. You a dog mom and a single mom. You got a Honda Civic. You got it.
I keep going blank. What's that damn dog that all these women have? What's that deadly dog?
You got a dog that eats.
It's a pit bull. It's a pit bull, dummy.
You a wine mom. You a wine mom. You a single wine mom. Cause you a wine mom. You a mama to a boy and a pit bull. You a wine mom. You a wine mom.
How's that? Like this dude's flow. This dude's got some flow right here. I like this man.
I remind you of your ex, put you in your place.
Come on, flow with it. Flow with it.
Honda Civic. Filter King Cool cigarettes. Got a tattoo of a weird design on your necks and your arms and your neck.
That's a stamp tramp.
And a little spider on your neck. You a wine mom and a single mom and a dog mom to a pit bull that eats babies.
You know them single wine mom pit bulls be eating babies.
He gonna eat the babies in the neighborhood. You a single mom, or you a wine mom? Why you whining, mom? Or you a wine mom?
Queen frenzy up.
Right, left, right, box wine. Pinot Grigio and that weird pink flavor that tastes like sugar. Strawberry banana.
That was fun. The wine mom rap. Okay. That's a single wine mom rap.
I met a girl. Alright, yeah.
I met a girl named Takia. She was lying left and right.
That do be sounding like a black girl name though, don't it? Takia.
If a Muslim tries to deceive you, it might also be the neighborhood hottie named Takia. I'm out feeling in love with a girl named Takia, but she was lying all the time.
We can have fun. I bought you some Funyuns. That shit was nasty and stank. Your girl was named Shantishwa Kantikwa, and they also came on the date as a chaperone. I said,
With Takia. All right, enough of this nonsense. Get this wine mom nonsense out of here. There's serious geopolitical things to talk about.
Mr. President, BlackRock, come to Ukraine. We've got things for you.
That's my Zelensky impression. I meant to pull that up. Let's see. Trump. Zelensky. Trump and Zelensky. All the boomers is losing it, right? Boomers are losing it. How come Trump's selling us out to Putin?
During the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
This feels like a skit of a bunch of high schoolers doing improv. And one of the improv high schoolers is an exchange student. Like this whole exchange was so, man, I mean, it was like, what am I watching? I mean, I enjoyed it from the entertainment value. It felt like an improv routine or something. And like one guy's the straight man, JD Vance, and then you got somebody pretending to be President Trump, and then you got the foreign exchange student who can't speak freaking English, and he says, what did he say? You have nice ocean.
Start from the beginning. Sure. First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now. But
You have nice ocean and don't feel now.
you will feel it.
You will feel it.
You will feel the cool breeze of ocean upon you as you go to find bathing beauties and to find relaxation time and also to spread the cream upon your bodies. You will feel it
in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
God bless, God bless, God bless. What the hell was he talking about? You have nice ocean and you will feel it in the future. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. He looks like he's about to cry.
You will not have war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to...
Well, don't tell us what we're going to feel. You don't know how we're going to feel. I have a wide range of emotions. I've got great, wonderful, amazing, probably the other emotions too. The whole wide range, we've got them all. We're going to bring out emotions 2.0, probably the Trump emotions, the best you've ever seen. It's going to be wonderful, amazing. Don't tell us how we feel. You don't know me. You don't know how I feel. I feel a lot of things.
Solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
Don't tell us what we're going to
No
feel.
position to dictate that.
That's exactly what you're doing.
You don't have any cards. You don't have Pokemon. You don't have the baseball cards. You don't have Tops. You don't have Upper Deck. You don't have any of the cards. I've got all the cards. I've got the Illuminati playing cards. I've got them all. You don't have a single collection. You don't subscribe to Beckett Monthly. You don't even know the prices. They're all going up. Every card I have is going up. Probably every card goes up. The Trump card's probably the best collectible card. They're all going up.
He doesn't have any garbage pail kids.
Don't have any. You don't have a single garbage pail kid. Jamie, could you bring me my garbage pail kids? I want to show off the cards. Zelensky probably doesn't have a single garbage pail kid. It doesn't have any of the 3rd series. Probably also not 4th series. I don't know. Maybe he does. What do you guys believe? You don't have the cards. I've got the cards. Where's my garbage pail kids? Let's celebrate. No, the old ones, not these new ones. Does Zelensky has no garbage pail kid cards? Quasimodo. Do you have any garbage pail kids, Zelensky? Do they have those in the Ukraine? I don't believe that they do. They probably don't. If they don't, they're not as good as the Trump pail kids. Probably the best cards. We're going to be releasing an NFT and an entire set of Trump cards. They're going to be wonderful, great. Probably the best cards you've ever seen. What's up, everybody? Shout out to all y'all garbage pail kids in the chat, all my GPKs, all my GPJs. Ever since I can remember, I've been popping my collar, popping my collar, popping my collar. Ever since I can remember, I've been better put my money in my in.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position.
Has anyone ever done improv? It's like high school improv class, and people are playing the parts of foreign dictator, Donald Trump, and then whatever JD Vance is supposed to be. I mean, this is funny, dude. We're gonna have garbage pail NFTs, probably all Trump, probably all me, probably the best. They're gonna be wonderful. They're gonna be great, better than all the other previous garbage pail kid cards. Zelensky will not be allowed to have a card, not one at all.
You've allowed yourself to
You've
be
allowed
in a
yourself.
position, and he happens to be right about
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
You have water, and you have a beach, and you have sunshine. Probably you will have to also enjoy it. You have cold drinks. You'll have also bubbly fizz drink, probably with nuclear explosion soon or something.
You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
Not playing cards.
Right now, you're playing cards.
I don't have garbage pail kid card, not one single card. I tried to buy garbage pail kid on eBay, but they're costing many $1,000. I snort the coke too much. No money for garbage pail kid. Tried to buy Series 3 garbage pail kid, don't have the cards. Jamie, bring me the garbage pail kids. They're in a safe. They're in a underground. What? Those are the new ones, the old ones.
You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III.
You're playing cards, you're gambling. It's house rules. You don't have the house. You don't have any rules. You don't have. We're playing Go Fish. You're playing solitaire. You're playing solitaire like a boomer. We're playing Go. We're playing 5-card Texas Hold'em. Probably the best game.
And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's back to you. Far more than a lot of people said they should have.
Have you said thank you once?
I play piano with PP. I can play piano with PP. He did. Jamie's laughing. You don't know that? BlackRock bought me golden piano for playing the PP on. BlackRock make best cocaine.
This entire meeting? No, in this entire meeting that you said thank you, you went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
I say God bless, God bless, God bless 3 times.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you can...
He's not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly.
He's not speaking loudly. Trump corrected him on the volume level. He's not speaking loudly. This is this almost like this is Saturday Night Live. I guarantee you Saturday Night Live will do a skit of this because this is funny.
Your country's in big trouble.
He's not talking loudly. Don't you know volume levels? That was probably about a decibel number of 4 or 5, maybe a decibel 7, probably not an 8. I don't know what you think. Probably not an 8. It wasn't loud though.
Your country's in big trouble.
Can I
Wait a minute. No. You've done a lot of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of us.
Mr. President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone. And
we are staying in our country. We are strong from beginning. You have beach. Also, very warm and nice. Probably you will go to beach.
We are thankful. I said thanks
you haven't
in
been
this
allowed.
cabinet.
You haven't been allowed. We gave you, through this stupid president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military equipment. And you men are brave, but they had to use our military. If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days. I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe
new.
Less.
In 2 weeks. Of course, yes.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Again,
I tell you.
just say thank you.
I said a lot of times to American people.
Accept that there are disagreements, and let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media when
you have a beach with God bless you.
Start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless you.
You have nice ocean. You do not feel it now. You will in future. God bless. God bless. God bless. What the hell does that mean? What, Russia's going to invade from the ocean? What does he mean? That's just so weird. Anyway, that was fun. That was a lot of fun this week. Did anybody enjoy that? Y'all married to a Funko Pop? Married to a Funko Pop. Whoa, whoa. Man, I got all this news I wanted to talk about, but I don't even feel like talking about the news now that I start yapping and singing. What do y'all want to talk about? Do y'all want to talk about the news? We could talk about the shit that I got listed to talk about, but we could talk about Bad Baby. Y'all remember her? Do you know that she doesn't even look like the same person? I think they done cloned her. Look at Bad Baby now. She got cloned. So you remember Bad Baby as this, right? Or her Gucci flip-flop. She got a Gucci flip-flop. She doesn't look like this anymore. Right? Cash Me Out. Catch Me Outside, baby. Remember the song? I want to hear that song. That's one of my favorite songs right there. This right here. Y'all like this song right here?
Did you say the hoes are laughing?
Yep.
So the all
Did you say that the hoes are laughing? Did you say that?
audience are a bunch of hoes.
Yeah.
The audience are a bunch of hoes.
Catch me outside. How about that?
You outside?
Catch you outside? What does that mean? Is there a possibility that maybe you are not all there? Is that even a possibility?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What I just said.
How about that? Yup. How about that? Now, have y'all seen? Y'all been keeping up with Bad Baby? Y'all know what she look like now? Yo, wait till you see this girl now. This is her now. On the right. Whoa. What the hell? It's like, no wonder people think that the rappers are getting cloned. That's her now. Look at that. What the heck? Ugh. I don't understand what it is that makes people who actually aren't unattractive. All right, her normal look is actually okay. But why would you want to turn yourself into a blow-up doll? I'm being serious. Like, why would anyone want to look like a blow-up doll? It's just really weird. It doesn't even look human. I mean, at least on the left, she looks like a normal person. I mean, she wants to be a black girl for whatever reason. But the thing on the right looks like it looks like the way that a geisha does her makeup, but as an actual person. How about that? So I'm gonna ask y'all in the audience, how about that? To get black dudes, do you even have to look like that to get black dudes? I mean, you could be a 500-pound white girl and get black dudes. You don't have to look like a blow-up doll to get black dudes if you're a white girl. Let's see. We got us some super chat. S Broccoli, $23, $10. J, is your DJ name going to be DJ Tyrannical Rainer or DJ Rainer? Raining over electronica. Boomer Slayer, $5. Return of the Mac for the win. I just wish my singing voice was here with me tonight. It's not, though. MKG, $5. We need a Bryson Gray. What that is? What that is? Ask my balls what that is. Ask my balls what that is. Fantasy what that is. We do need that, don't we? I bet you I can make a better diss track than Bryson Gray could make. What do you think of that? That's a challenge right there. I'm going to do a damn Bryson Gray diss. I'm going to do a diss track. I'm going to try to come up with one. It's going to be full of a bunch of damn Torah jokes, too. Got my Teflon. Got my chauffeur. Got a chauffeur for my chauffeur. What that is. Captain Blood, $5. J.S. smoked salmon. I ate it. Chicken mozzarella. I drank a gallon of milk, a banana, four Greek yogurt bars. I'm out front of your house. I need to use your toilet, sir. Well, my toilet ain't very shitted up right now. And so if you a nice, handsome Indian man, I need you to fill my toilet right now. Hop on in here, dog. Boomer Slayer, $2. 38. Don't know what that mean. JV Free, $2. Your Zelensky sounds like Watto. Oh, Annie. What if Zelensky was doing the voice of Watto the whole time? Oh, Annie, need a bit of cocaine. Need a little bit of black rock. Jamie, could you make me... Can you make me an espresso? Jamie! I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart. I believe in a thing called love. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Man, how does he hit them notes, dude? I believe in a thing called love. Just listen to the rhythm of my heart. Right? Could you make me an espresso? I believe in a thing called love. Is that good? I got to get her approval when I try to do that. Touching you, touching me. I'm in a good mood today, even though I didn't wake up feeling that great because the allergies are just like on level 9,000. But catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that? Why am I in a good mood today? Well, multiple reasons. Esoteric Hollywood 3 is done. Somebody said, not a bad falsetto. My falsetto is actually really good. When the allergies are not driving me crazy, I can almost do some of those. I can't do all of Justin Watkins' notes, but I can. Jamie is my music coach, my voice coach. And she can confirm that sometimes I can do the notes.
Very good.
Thank you. Can you also pour me some water? Catch me outside. How about that? Tell me to stop. How dare you tell me to stop? What that is? I believe in a thing called love. This is a rhythm of my heart. Why y'all trying to act like it ain't good? Y'all know it's good. Shit. Tucker Carlson getting a death threat. Deaf. DEF. A death threat from damn Crenshaw.
He's a hothead on Twitter now.
He's out of control.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's taking this stance a little bit.
Because I think his personal life is out of control.
Yeah, because he used to be like a right-wing darling. Like he was, with the Navy SEALs, I think early on.
Not with me.
That's my Tucker laugh.
Always thought he was a freak and a warmonger.
Really? Yeah.
Weirdo, yeah. He's a freak and a warmonger weirdo, but yeah.
He's showing it now.
Yeah.
Did you see the free press he did where we posted this? He essentially comes out and he's like supporting politician stock trading. He's like, if you get rid of it, you're going to get crappy politicians. And it's like, what are you talking about? Like we're not asking you guys to.
That's like saying
not get paid.
If you don't allow the police to shake down speeders at gunpoint, you're going to get a worse kind of cop.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's yeah. So he had a fiery one with the free press probably about like 2 months ago, right before Thanksgiving.
I saw that.
So sure, yeah, why not? Don't let us trade stocks. How about we'll just keep whipping ourselves. How about we don't make any money either? How about like just cut our paychecks? We haven't gotten a pay raise since 2008.
I wonder if the Muslims think he's the Dajjal. There's probably some crazy Muslim that thinks that.
Even a COLA increase. So yeah, this is a great idea. Let's make Congress a place where only the millionaires can actually afford to do the job. This is a wonderful idea.
His portfolio, though, in particular, he's up around like 48 to 50%. And all of this, I got to say this for compliance reasons. Like you can see all this on our app, it's all right there. So I may kind of be, depending on the day. But he outperformed the market. He was right below Pelosi.
I'm glad that people are figuring out that the Congress, Senate people get in there to make hundreds of millions of dollars. And I'm starting to think they don't care about the people. I know it's a crazy theory, but I'm starting to think that. What do you guys think? I believe in a thing called love, just a sound in my heart. I believe in a thing called love. That one wasn't bad. Imagine when my voice was actually not congested and I wasn't being attacked by phlegm.
forgot what I was going to talk about next. Oh, T-Dump is back. Did y'all know T-Dump was back?
Reality exists.
Is that a concept in the brain or a concrete object?
The concept is the sentence, physical reality exists. That sentence doesn't exist independent of our imagination.
If you say something like truth exists and you say it's a concept, then you'd have to say that truth exists as a particular item of matter in one particular...
Didn't T-Dump just admit eventually that he only wants to just make money? That the only reason he's doing any of this is to make money?
Particular brain? And how could it be universal if it's different in all brains?
This is very, very basic philosophy. Truth is whether a sentence describes reality or not. The truth.
So it's a basic philosophical point that he's never understood, even though he's had PhD philosophers come on and explain to him where he's wrong about this point. Remember that like 3 years ago when he had an actual professor on and he just never admitted that he had anything wrong?
Doesn't exist. Truth
doesn't exist. That's the end of the debate.
Is a property of sentences. This is very, very basic philosophy. If you don't understand
that the truth doesn't exist, that's basic philosophy.
Jimbo, truth does not exist.
There you go. So if truth doesn't exist, then everything that is being argued is not the case. Thank you. I believe in a thing called love, just as the rhythm of heart. Guess what? There's reason for celebration. I'm looking over this feed. I mean, this is just a bunch of slop, dude. Isn't it? There's good news. We're celebrating tonight partly because the future is rosy. Future is bright. So bright that I wear my sunglasses at night. And a little something happened this morning that I've been telling y'all about for a good while now. Did you notice? Did you notice when you woke up and you saw the news that the thing I was telling you was coming was all over the news? Did anyone notice? You know what I'm referring to. What was today's big news? Obviously, Bitcoin will be included in a strategic reserve. I also love Bitcoin. Obviously, BTC, ETH, other valuable cryptocurrencies will be at the heart of the reserve. I also love Bitcoin and Ethereum. U.S. crypto reserve. I also love Bitcoin. Will elevate probably the industry. Do you see that? Now, to all you reply bros, where are my apologies? Where are the, oh, you were right. Oh, I guess you did know what you were talking about. Oh, yes, I guess so. We were at the Bitcoin conference in Nashville. We were there when Trump was live. And I will create a Bitcoin strategic reserve stockpile. A Bitcoin stockpile. And I told you this was coming. Now, a lot of y'all talk smack. A lot of y'all, oh, let's go to zero. One of my good friends today was telling me, let's go to zero, dude. Going to zero? How can it go to zero now that this has been announced, as we said was coming? What planet are people on? He said stockpile, which was just classic Trumpism, right? Somebody said, what's Fort Knox full of? And I'll be on with Sean Atwood tomorrow night talking about that. Slowboy Whitebird said it's going to be full of servers. There you go. They should just stick all the Bitcoin mining equipment inside of Fort Knox. How's that? There we go. Actually, the future probably will be that way. Where are the apologies? Now, it gets even crazier. Because the arch boomer himself,
the greatest hater of Bitcoin of all time, had one of the most unexpected admissions in this tweet today. Peter Schiff, the gold boomer of gold boomers, says, I get the rationale for a Bitcoin reserve. I don't agree with it, but I get it. We have a gold reserve. Bitcoin is digital gold, which is better than analog gold. So let's create a Bitcoin reserve too. That's an amazing admission. So even though he doesn't like it, and this is essentially an admission of what it is and the principles behind it, even though he says right underneath it, I don't agree with it, he's at least admitting he understands the rationale and what it is. This is thus an admission that he's salty, that he has never bought it, or unless he's bought it on the down low and just isn't saying it. And perhaps he realized that it would compete with gold the entire time. And that's another reason why perhaps he didn't like it, because his business is gold. I actually do agree with Peter Schiff, though. What's the purpose of a Ripple reserve? I mean, Ripple is a giant scam coin. I have no interest in Ripple whatsoever. So I actually agree with him there. But, I mean, to see this kind of an admission is pretty wild, especially given the fact that he's done multiple debates with Bitcoin people, Breedlove, Jack Mallers, many other people. Even going back years to debating Max Kaiser about Bitcoin. What an amazing admission. Now, again, I've been telling you guys this since the Bitcoin conference and Trump's speech. And here we are. Everybody was waiting for this news. This was the news they were waiting for in the press conference a few weeks ago, which they spent 45 minutes patting each other on the back, giving each other congratulatory awards, and then finally said, yeah, well, we like Bitcoin. I mean, dude, you could have made this stupid announcement in about 30 seconds. That's what everybody was waiting for. Now, another interesting admission in this regard is that even the CEO of Coinbase, which surprised me, Brian Armstrong, where's that thing at? I couldn't believe this. I mean, it's like people are admitting a lot today. What did the CEO of Coinbase, Brian Armstrong, say? Just Bitcoin would probably be the best option. Simplest, clear story as successor to gold. Wow. I mean, even the CEOs of giant, altcoin exchanges admit that at the nation state level for a strategic reserve, Bitcoin would probably just be the best option. Wow. That's a pretty big admission. Now, let's talk next about briefly, we're going to comment on this guy's video. This popped up. I watched a little bit of it. Looked like he had a good argument. I didn't see the whole thing. So let's see what he says here about how rare this is. Have I gotten into Romania? I want to comment on that real quickly because of the other thing, the last stream that we did, and all the Romanians in the chat telling me all the inner workings of Romanian politics. Nobody in America knows the inner workings of Romanian politics. I had probably 20 Romanians telling me that Călin Ionescu is not actually consistently Orthodox. He's got these New Age influences. Bro, I can't vote for your president, okay? All I can go by is what's in the publicly available information. And newsflash to Romanians, most of that is not translated into English. I don't know his history and his background. I played a few clips. So it's not necessary for you guys to try to convince me that Georgescu is a bad guy. I don't know his motives and how orthodox he is. I didn't even know who he was until I connected the dots that the guy in the election is the same guy from the Club of Rome that I played the clips of. Okay, so nobody in America knows anything about Romania. Romanians, do you understand that? I'm not trying to insult you. It's just
everybody in their countries kind of assumes and thinks that everybody else knows all about their stuff. It's like, you guys don't know anything about the South or the Bible Belt. Okay. We don't know anything about Romania. Okay. So we have to try to figure this out via mainstream media and news. And it's nobody has time to sift through Romanian political election stuff except for me. So I'm trying my best.
I'm Jared Carpenter, and this is Future Signal. On this episode, let's dive into how rare is owning one Bitcoin.
And we're talking about this again because this is very important. And I keep being vindicated. I keep telling you guys what's going on, and you don't listen to me, and you whine at me, and you want to debate me and argue with me. If you don't have millions of dollars, don't argue with me, because I'm not going to listen to you, because I don't know that you have not demonstrated that you've actually put your knowledge into effect in the world to act on it in a smart way. You're just a reply bro in the chat that 90% of the time, I don't read the reply bros. Every now and then I will, for a test case, as we did with the last couple nights of the X Spaces dealing with these schizos. Otherwise, I don't read your replies on Twitter, because the replies are largely idiots, especially on crypto. I'm not talking about Orthodox people. I'm talking about when you post something about crypto, it is the biggest clown show of idiocy there's no point.
And I want to say that this episode was truly inspired by a comment that was left on episode 15, where I was talking about why 99% of people in the world will never own 0.1 Bitcoin. The comment was left by Tyrone Ingram. I don't know if this is his actual name. I don't know if it's a he. I don't know who this person is. I don't know if it's their pseudonym, but thank you for leaving this comment. And the comment says, what does owning one BTC put you? And what I believe they're trying to ask is, how rare is this, right? How many people on the earth probably own this amount of Bitcoin? And then also, how rare is that? And that's what we hope to dive into today in this episode. And if you're listening to this on a podcast platform, consider going to YouTube. I'll leave that link in the episode description, because this is an entire presentation. So the answer is, the TLDR, right, is that it's super rare. There's around under...
Now, this rare aspect, because Bitcoin, as we all know, will be capped at 21 million, and it's not even 21 million that will be out there in circulation. It will be even more rare because the estimates are that probably many million have already been irretrievably lost. People who had Bitcoin who died, people who lost their computer, their coins. Estimates are anywhere from 2 to 5 million, right? We don't know. There's no way to know that, but it's probably somewhere around that. So it's not even 21 million Bitcoin ultimately. It's even less, probably 15 million Bitcoin that are ever going to be available in circulation. That means it's super rare. And rarity is one of the key elements to a good source or version of money. So money has to have various qualities. We've done many, many lectures on this, many, many talks on this. Everybody thinks that this is super boring. They don't want to listen to it. Well, that's why you're going to be poor. And you're not going to automatically go to heaven because you're poor. You can be virtuous. You can be wicked. You can be all of those things and be poor at the same time. So don't piety signal to me that, well, I'm better than you because actually I'm poor. Unless you're a monastic, you're not getting anywhere with that. Because if you're going to have a family, if you're going to have kids, you're going to need an inheritance. You're going to need a way to put food on the table, clothes, shelter, etc. That means that we need to be wise as serpents in this world and know the ways of this world in order to live in this world. And we said there's certain qualities that money has that makes it money. It needs to be divisible. It needs to be portable. It needs to be durable. It needs to be recognizable. And it needs to be, most of all, scarce. That is the super rare that you see right there. That quality, that key element that makes it not diluted. The history of the world's economics is governments, states, banks diluting the money supply over time. The Roman Empire, for example, they had coins. And over time, what the emperors figured out was that they could add more and more base metals to those coins to debase the coins. such that eventually they weren't even gold or silver anymore. The debasement of the currency is not something new, it's old. Debasement is even more extreme with fiat dollar-based currency. Every fiat currency in the history of the world has gone to zero because there's an inherent law of corruption that when a government or a private bank or a central bank that runs and owns the government has that power, there's nothing that stops the printing press and them selling it to their cronies and their buddies to then use that currency to buy up real assets. That's why it's such an insidious scam. And we've talked about this endlessly over and over and over. And so rarity is one of those key things. And that's what we're going to talk about today, which is that the reason I'm talking about this is that already, okay, there is a limit to how much even wealthy people will be able to attain in terms of Bitcoin. And that's why when Michael Saylor figured that out, that's why he started doing everything to get as much as he could, because he realized that as time goes by, you will be able to buy less and less and less Bitcoin. And less Bitcoin that nation states begin to buy. And now that Trump has admitted that the U.S. as a nation state will begin to buy it, we also had other states have already begun to, individual states like Arizona, South Dakota, and many others have already passed their bills, I think. I know one of them has, Arizona, to begin states having strategic Bitcoin reserves. So it's not just the federal government, it's the individual states beginning to do this. That will mean that the other nations want to front run the U.S. so that they're not left out. They're not the last nation state to begin to buy these things. That means that will drive the price up. That is why in the next 5 years, Bitcoin goes likely, in my view, to a million probably. It might be 800,000 in 5 years. It might be 500,000. It might be 2 million. But usually, every 5 years, there's about a 10x. So to go from 100,000 to a million, probably another 5 years. And we're at this cusp now, as we pointed out, where last January was institutional adoption. Big hedge funds, big money investment entities like Fidelity or whatever, all that boomer shit, they're beginning now to enter into this domain. Boomers don't know anything about Bitcoin. It's kryptonite to boomers. But now they can have exposure to it by going to their boomer stonk men who can then allocate for them. Do you understand? That's what those entities do. And the younger generations can now get on Robinhood and just, if you're into stocks, you can get on there and buy Bitcoin. You can do the same thing through any of the crypto exchanges, right? Now, on my channel, we prefer Bitcoin, and so I recommend that people go to Swan Bitcoin. You can get a link in the show description to Swan Bitcoin using my promo code. This is my wallet. If you would like to donate or support me through Bitcoin, you can do so through this address right here. I appreciate you guys that have over the years sent and supported via Bitcoin. But this is extremely rare. And so we want to talk about how and why it's so rare.
And if you look at the line, 1 million wallets that own 1 Bitcoin or more. And here it is under the line, but I had to zoom in even more, and it's 992,099 wallets. So right under a million. And this number is from February 20th, 2025, okay? When the Bitcoin price was 98,000. As of this recording, the Bitcoin price is under 90. So this number could be more as people, buy the dip, or maybe it's less as people panic sell. I'm not sure. We're going to be using, however, 992,000 for the remainder of the episode. So that way we're not thinking about the 99 wallets, unfortunately. But yeah, 992,000 wallets. Just as a refresher, going back to episode 15, on episode 15, we talked about how there's only 4.5 million wallets with more than 0.1 Bitcoin. And when you divide 4.5 million divided by 8 billion, you get roughly 1 out of every 1,778 people on the planet, out of 8 billion people, that's the working number we're using for the global population, has 0.1 Bitcoin. That number alone is already shocking. So you can imagine what owning one Bitcoin is going to be. When you think about 992,000 wallets, you divide that by 8 billion, you're left with 1.24 people out of 10,000. Okay? That's wild. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, because exactly, how rare is that? How rare is 992,000 wallets? It's as if everyone in Austin, Texas, basically more or less, because Austin, Texas has around 974,000 people that live there or habitants. It's as if everyone in Austin, Texas had a wallet and it had one Bitcoin on it, and then nowhere else in Texas, in the United States, in the Americas, in the rest of the world has wallets with one Bitcoin. If you've never been to Austin, it really doesn't matter. The idea is that the amount of people who have, potentially wallets with more than one Bitcoin can fit in a small city in the United States. Maybe that didn't do it. So I wanted to get into percent of rarity. And what I'm trying to do here is take that percentage, the 0.000124, and then multiply it, in this example, by the amount of people that live in New York. So there's around 8.5 million people that live in New York City. And if you multiply that by that, the percentage or the decimal, it's as if only 1,054 people lived in New York City. And if you've ever been to New York City, that amount of people would easily fit in Times Square. So it would definitely feel like an apocalyptic situation if you were in New York City and there were only 1,054 people between all 5 boroughs. But that is the same weight as it is having potentially 992,000 people only own one Bitcoin to the 8 billion population. It's the same as if you were in Madison Square Garden, a capacity that has around 19,500, and there would be roughly 2 to 3 people in the entire arena. That's how rare it is. And if you were sitting in there with that few amount of people, you'd be like, this is really weird. We're definitely in the 1% of the 1% of the 1%.
So again, as you can begin to see, obviously this is something that is extremely rare. And the rarity element is precisely what contributes to the price shock or the supply shock, so to speak. In other words, when the nation states begin to FOMO in, which now that the U.S. has said this, that Trump has said this, as this begins to happen, we don't know yet what level of buying they will engage in. I think Loomis's plan, the bill, the Cynthia Loomis bill, was something like, what did she say? 100, 200,000 Bitcoin a year for 5 or 10 years. I forget exactly what she said. Something like that. And that's the calculation that people use to get to $1 million or 800,000 to $1 million Bitcoin in 5 years. But that's just looking at what the likelihood of the U.S. buying it would do to driving the price up. That's not also including the other entities that would be buying, like nation states, U.S. states, Michael Saylor continuing to buy. So in other words, that's just like what the likelihood of the U.S. buying would do. Let's see what if she commented on this today. I'm assuming that she did, because
I use, PayPal or Apple Pay. So walk us through the reasons that someone would want to use crypto in that regard, given the other options out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, Bitcoin has a couple of qualities that you can't get from either fiat currency, meaning US dollars, or government-issued currency. It is both a store of value and a means of exchange. It is scarce, so it's digital gold, but it's much easier to use than gold. It's easier to transport. You can have it on your phone. You can make payments faster and cheaper than a credit card. It's instantaneous.
That is great. Level, I could say I already have that. I use my credit card. I use, PayPal.
So actually, this is like 5 days old. So she hasn't even commented on it. But maybe she doesn't tweet very much. I don't even know. All right.
It's as if you went to Disney World, Magic Kingdom in Florida, which has a capacity around 100K. You know, if you go down to that area, there's Epcot, there's Universal, there's all these. We're just focusing on Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom has a capacity around 100K. It's as if there were 12 people in Magic Kingdom. That is the same weight as 992,000 people potentially having one Bitcoin compared to 8 billion people population. So only 12 people. It's as if in the United States, instead of having around 345 million people, if it were weighted the same as 1.24 per 10,000 people, it would be as if there were only 42,780 people in the entire United States. Okay? This is a crazy rarity. Crazy, crazy, crazy rare. And I want to go...
Now, when it comes to that rarity, you might think, well, as this goes up, there's nothing that's going to stop a wealthy person from immediately being able to buy, all the Bitcoin up. But the problem is that when you say a wealthy person, if you mean somebody with, say, a few $1 million or something like that, that a lot of times people with that level of wealth do not have that much liquid cash on hand. In other words, they don't have enough money to just immediately buy 2, 3, 5 Bitcoin if they have, a few $1 million. What I'm getting at by that is that you're able to still front run not just nation states and even the US, since this just was announced today, right? You're able to front run even the wealthy people, even people with a few $1 million, because they're not going to be able to immediately dump $1 million into Bitcoin right away. You see what I'm saying? Now they might begin to buy. I don't know. I'm like, think of some random celebrity, who has $10 million, some actress woman or something. Maybe she gets convinced of Bitcoin. One of the Game of Thrones girls, right? She was convinced of Bitcoin. Maisie Williams, in 2020, she was saying, "Oh, I like Bitcoin now. Can I start buying Bitcoin? How much should I buy?" Remember this? And I don't know if she did or what, but let's say she made $5 million from Game of Thrones, and she now is convinced of what it really is and realizes that she should have been stacking it for the whole time. If Maisie Williams has $5 million and she wants to begin to acquire it, number one, most exchanges, at least for the initial purchasing periods, they put I'm going from memory, I think Coinbase has like $100,000 limit a month. So in other words, you can't just immediately go to Coinbase and buy 10 Bitcoin, because I think even Coinbase limits you to 100,000 a month. Okay. So to get 10 Bitcoin, it's going to take you 10 months, you see, unless you find some other means by which maybe you buy it directly from a person who's willing to sell it immediately to you for more than Coinbase's price, right? Maybe somebody says, "I'll sell you, Maisie Williams, 10 Bitcoin for $105,000, something like that, right? So it's not like even the wealthy people with the multi-millions are necessarily going to immediately be able to buy into large amounts of Bitcoin. So that means that it's even still harder and more rare. It can't just be emptied out. And one of the reasons that the exchanges do that is that the exchanges don't want extremely wealthy people coming in and clearing out the exchanges OTC, over-the-counter Bitcoin, right? You could have some super zillionaire dude jump on Coinbase and buy all of Coinbase's liquid Bitcoin that's for sale. Maybe they have, I don't know, 5,000 Bitcoin on hand or something. I don't know how much, but I'm just guessing. Some super rich dude comes in and buys it all. Well, suddenly Coinbase can't process everybody's purchases. This is why most people are purchase, right, over these monthly time frames, or they dollar cost average into it. But when people like Michael Saylor and people like that, they're not buying from Coinbase. They're buying from other non-over-the-counter ways of buying gigantic, billion-dollar purchases of Bitcoin. And that might still be brokered through Coinbase, but it's not directly over-the-counter Coinbase like you and I would sign up on Coinbase, if that makes sense. So the point of all that was just that don't think that you can just automatically, you know, like you're going to be front run by, you know, the $5 million people, because it's not really any different than a $5 million person, right? They're going to have the same $100,000 limits that you're going to have. So that stretches out the ability for all of us at our levels of buying. Does that make sense? Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Back, and I've said a couple times, it's as if 992,000 had a Bitcoin, and I'm trying to be conditional there, because while this is the amount of wallets that are shown as of February 20, 2025 to hold one Bitcoin or more, likely there's many holders in Bitcoin who have more than one Bitcoin on multiple wallets. So I actually think this real number is probably closer to somewhere 400,000 to 500,000, but it's really difficult to tell because anyone could open up 50 different wallets and put one Bitcoin in 50 different wallets. So that's something that you need to take into account. These numbers here, when you think about 12 people in Disney World, it really could be 3 people, 4 people. When you think about 2 to 3 people in Madison Square Garden, it could be 1 or less. When you think about 1,000 people across all 5 boroughs in New York City, it could be 250 or 500. It could be way less. So yeah, that's where I want to say whole coiners are likely less than the 992,000 wallets that hold 1 or more Bitcoin. And just finishing out here, if owning 0.1 Bitcoin is rare, then being a whole coiner, owning 1 Bitcoin or more, is the holy grail of digital scarcity. And I wanted to finish off with this meme, and I'm going to kind of zoom in. If you're listening on a podcast platform, I'm probably not going to explain it to you. But basically the idea is that from 2010 through 2020, through 2030 and 2040, having one whole Bitcoin is going to be is something that was, you know, maybe poo-pooed in 2010 to 2020, but even today it's already exceedingly rare. Go back to episode 15 where I really break down some of the economics of why most people on the planet are never going to be able to actually afford 0.1 Bitcoin, which is still 90% less of what 1 Bitcoin would be. So by the end of 2040, as according to this meme, I do think there's probably going to be roughly only 100,000 wallets, if not less than that amount of people that actually hold 1 coin, especially as institutional adoption and high net worth individuals get a hold of this.
There you go. And if you want to watch his video, I put it there in the chat for you guys to check out his video and channel. Let's see, we got some super chats. Zamonde Chef King, $2. People are often living in their imaginations, I think. You know, that's a good point. I think in my Riz stream or in my Advice for Young Guy stream, and maybe in both of them, I talked about how young dudes should focus on doing things in this world, bettering themselves, and not getting lost in fantasy worlds. Because I absolutely think that, especially all the soy men, they live in a comic book world, they live in a video game world, they live in fantasy worlds. All of that is fine in moderation. But it's, as you get older, you're going to look back and be like, man, I wasted so much time. I could have been learning a skill. I could have been learning to invest. I could have been, studying stonks, if that's what you're into, right? But you wasted how many hours and how many days, months, playing video games and whatever other fantasy soy shit people are into. President Sundowner, $5. Do not allow botanical wizards to silence your angelic voice. Exactly. I don't know who the botanical wizards are. Oh, you mean the pollen boy when he's on the attack. Exactly. Great Scott, $5. What happens if the grid goes down and we all using digital currency? First of all, the grid will come back on, and it's very unlikely that the grid will go away, given the fact that the entire structure of the world is centered around there being things like the internet. Nothing is infallible. It is always possible that a meteor hits the earth or something like that. But even if a meteor hits the earth or something like that, it doesn't destroy the Bitcoin network. It's a decentralized network that is spread across some 10,000 plus nodes. So you would actually have to destroy all the nodes in the world to get rid of the Bitcoin ledger, which is not really even possible. And that's what led people like even Putin to say, who can even stop Bitcoin? Zamonde, Chef King, $5. Can you go into the Catholic influence of the game Blasphemous 2? I don't even know what that is. To be able to speak on the Catholic influence on it, I'd have to know what that is. Is that like an independent video game? I appreciate your super chat, but I just don't even know what it is, man. Alex Couch, $5. Talk with Cyprian, formerly called Vin Armani, about crypto. I think I've watched some of his videos over the years. He's a good source on the subject. Yeah, I'll check that out. I don't know if he would do interviews or does interviews. I don't know. By the way, I did a pretty good 4th hour Lord Voldemort. If you guys didn't see the 4th hour right here, you can check that out over here on my X. Head on over to right here if you don't follow me. And I'm almost at 100,000. We're going to do a 100K party over here on X when I hit 100K. Sneed Chuckson, $2. If Bitcoin gets perma lost, doesn't it eventually run out? No, I think you misunderstood what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that since the beginning of Bitcoin, there are people who have Bitcoin who have died. Okay, that does not mean that all 21 million Bitcoin that will be mined are going to be lost. I'm saying that out of the totality of the Bitcoin that will ever exist, which is only 21 million, none of that number is not it's not actually 21 million, because many people will die that do not give their seed phrase to their children, to their inheritors. Many people have lost Bitcoin. Many people have lost their laptops that had 10,000 Bitcoin on them from 10 years ago. So, no, it doesn't run out. Bobby C, $5. All the lost Bitcoin can be recaptured when quantum computing comes. Non-resistant wallets will be found and plundered. Do you have thoughts? I mean, there's a lot of speculations about this because quantum computing does not actually exist yet. So everybody talking about what it's going to do are sci-fi speculators. And I would imagine that when and if that comes, there will be quantum resistant wallets. But also, as people point out, if quantum computing is able to do that, it's not going to be just people stealing Bitcoin. Zamande Chef King, it's going to be like the end of the world, basically, right? Zamande Chef King, $2. Can you steal Bitcoins, though? You got to steal BTC. You got to steal Bitcoin. I don't know what that means. No, people cannot steal Bitcoin unless they get your seed phrase or you do not do your due diligence and keep it in cold storage. Oh my gosh, man. You guys and these questions, man. I'm not talking about you, Zamande. I'm talking about the next one. JR, $5. How is crypto not a globalist plan to ensure a world currency? Because all the globalists do not like Bitcoin. They've been saying for years they don't like Bitcoin, and they push the centralized cryptos like Solana, like Cardano, like Ripple. Those are the ones that Klaus and all the global elites say they need to use to not have a decentralized Bitcoin. Guys, please go do some research on the topic. And please don't ask me the same questions that every frickin' boomer posts and asks every time I mention the subject. Please do your own research. Palantir, $5. Do you think the new Trump administration is the start of a new post-liberal global order and the collapse of the plans of global elite? Thanks. I mean, I don't know if we're there yet. We're definitely moving in a good direction. But I don't know if we're at the point where we could say necessarily the totality of the technocratic global order is done for. I don't know where we're going or what we're going into. But things have definitely moved in a good direction. And, you know, I pray and we hope for things to continue to move in a good direction. But I don't know that we're at the point where we can say that the New World Order is completely defeated. I think what's going on is after this Zelensky scenario that we just had with Trump, he flew to England. They had that meeting with like Keir Starmer and all them, right? And the European goblins are all saying, we're going to support you because now we're going to have, for sure this perhaps continued war. And I mean, it's like Lord V said today, he thinks that the only move they have is to like really just get a war with Russia. And, that's why they want the election in Romania to go not for Georgescu. It doesn't matter what you think of his New Age stuff. That they want a NATO base there. They want to build the biggest NATO base of all in Romania against Russia, which could be for a future World War scenario. He argued that that's all they have. I think that makes sense. I don't know what else they can do other than to try to like kick off some gigantic fake flag or something. I don't know. Palantir $5. Can you do a geopolitical stream on recent events? That's what this is, man. JD Vance's speech at Munich, Trump and Zelensky's meeting. I mean, we just talked about Trump and Zelensky's meeting for the first 30 minutes. I can't do a geopolitical stream without clowning around and having fun in it. It's just too boring. You just sit here and listen to politicians yap for hours. I can't do that. So we got to have fun. We got to joke around. And that's why the stream is talking about multiple subjects. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. Trump-Zelensky meetings signaled a major change in my view. Well, we've been saying on our side of things for the entire time that Zelensky was in the wrong. It was a giant mess. Zelensky was a tyrant. He's a ridiculous dictator persecuting the Orthodox Church. And all of the CIA boomer docs people out there are losing their mind because we were vindicated in the Trump stance against Zelensky in that meeting. Thomas B. $5. Was Saint Justinian too heavy-handed in the 3 chapters controversy? Or since he was right, it doesn't matter. He was right. Bobby C. $5. Wouldn't a strategic reserve with any other crypto than Bitcoin be facilitating fascism? Look, man, you can't be a purist in politics. Politics is the art of the deal and compromise. I'm not saying that's good. That's just the reality of it. So I would like it to be a Bitcoin strategic reserve. What can we do? We can't stop them from, doing what they're doing. So I guess we have to take what we can get. It merges corporation and state interests. I mean, I think that the U.S. government has already forever been a merged private corporate state interest. I mean, the Federal Reserve is private. So the very definition of fascism applies to the Federal Reserve par excellence. But nobody thinks of the Federal Reserve in that way. They think of fascism as people wearing Hugo Boss outfits and, goose stepping in boots or whatever. Well, the Federal Reserve is a definition of that. My homies call me Smooth, $5. Can we not agree that Oasis is the great Esther's, I don't even know what that word means. Esther's mid? Since the Beatles, Oasis rules. I agree Oasis rules, but I don't know what the word Esther's is, what that means. Let me make sure I didn't miss the super chats over here. Jordan Lofgren, $5. I know that after the Gematria guy debated Andrew and Jim Bob, you saw the value of the Texas sharpshooter fallacy in Bitcoin decisions. Can you confirm this? So, to be clear, the Gematria people are using gambler's fallacy and the Texas sharpshooter's fallacy to try to give the impression that whatever pieces of evidence they look for after the fact vindicates their number pattern arbitrariness. Okay. I don't know what that has to do with Bitcoin decisions. I'm not trying to be rude to you. I just don't understand what you mean by saying that the Texas sharpshooter fallacy applies to Bitcoin decisions. Are you saying that because Trump announced a strategic reserve and we had a bump of 10% today that's the Texas sharpshooter fallacy? No, dude, this is light years apart, and you're completely misunderstanding. The strategic reserve, if the bill passes and if it continues forward, it means the buying of 1 million Bitcoin or so, something like that. That's roughly what Loomis said, in the next 5 years. That has nothing to do with the zoomed in micro analysis of today's 10% gain. I don't care for the most part about the daily chart of Bitcoin. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's fun when it goes up 10% and we make a lot of money in a day. That's fun. But it also goes down a lot in a day sometimes, right? Because it's a volatile market. You do have significant pullbacks of Bitcoin in every bull market. There's usually a 30-40% pullback. And then people lose their mind. They freak out and they think, oh, I got to sell it. And when you do that, as a lot of people did this week when Bitcoin went down to 79, a lot of people got scared. They had paper hands. They dumped it. You're just selling it to whales. So you're just selling your Bitcoin to Michael Saylor and all the other whales that buy it up. And then Trump makes a statement. It goes back up to 95 or whatever it is now. So it's not a day trading thing. And I've been telling you guys this ever since we've been talking about it on this channel for a good while now. I don't trade Bitcoin and play markets and stare at charts all day. It is not that for me. For me, it's literally the currency that I choose to live on. Meaning that the way that Jack Mallers describes it, I want to have as little fiat in my life as possible. I don't want to live on any fiat. And there's ways to do that. It's not exact because I still got to buy groceries and I still have to pay, house payment and all that kind of stuff. But for everything else, it's almost entirely Bitcoin, except for paying taxes, groceries, and house payment. Like everything else is immediately put into Bitcoin. And I don't even care about the daily chart price, you see. And if you do that for, let's see, we've been doing that for 8 years. Okay. We'll be able to retire soon, you see. I'm not saying, when I say soon, I don't mean tomorrow. I'm saying like within 5 years, especially now that we had today's announcement, we can retire most likely. Again, we don't know. There could be a world war or whatever. But you know what? There can always be anything. There's no silver bullet perfect scenario. But Lord willing, most likely, given the scenarios, that means that it will allow us to be much more freed up to engage in a lot of the activities that we want to do. It's not that I don't like live streaming. I love doing this. I do get tired of debating. I don't really care to constantly debate low tier people all the time. People find it to be very entertaining. It does seem to serve a purpose to illustrate errors. It does help a lot of people. But do you know how many times I've responded to, can you explain the problem of what PSA is? There's probably 200 clips or examples on my channel where we've addressed PSA. And what happens is that you eventually get sick of talking about the subject. I cannot stand when people ask me about PSA anymore. I'm so tired of explaining it. And that happens when you've explained something 200 times, 500 times. Can you explain tag and how it's not a circular argument? Do you know how many times we've addressed that? And what happens is that you don't want to talk about it anymore. It's like working at a factory and stamping the widget for 20 years and somebody says, could you come stamp more widgets at the factory? It's like, dude, I did that for 20 years. No. Why can you not get a widget? Why can you not go to the channel and find the 100 frickin' times where we talked about PSA? Palantir $5. Could you do it? Oh, we already read that. All right, so let's see. Oh, the other thing about Bobby C's question of a BTC strategic reserve is that it's like when Whitney Webb was giving her criticisms of the big institutions buying Bitcoin. The problem is that there's no way to stop that. There's no ideal libertarian scenario where all the libertarians convince everybody to be libertarian, and BlackRock and Fidelity and MicroStrategy don't buy Bitcoin. I mean, there's not any way to do that, because Bitcoin was introduced into a scenario where there was still somewhat of a free market. So Bitcoin has to then eat that free market, and that means that BlackRock's going to be able to buy it, MicroStrategy is going to be able to buy it. That's why education is really important, because if the average Joe understands it, he gets to front run Apple, Amazon, Google, all of these entities. So even though BlackRock's buying it, MicroStrategy's buying it, you understand you're ahead of Amazon, Apple, Google, Microsoft. You're still ahead of the biggest people on the planet. And it's like talking to a wall when I try to tell you guys this. It's like, it still doesn't register. So what? Think about, it's the year 2002 or 3, and you know what Amazon stock is. I don't care about Amazon. I'm not even into stocks. I'm making an analogy, okay? Where was Amazon stock at? And let's take a look and see where it was at. If you could buy Amazon stock in 2001, 2, 3, whatever, wouldn't you do it? Wouldn't you do it? Let's see. Let's pull this chart up. Let's go all the way back here when Jeffrey Bezos was pushing shit out of his basement. Okay, so it's 2001. How much was Amazon stock at? 50 cents. Okay. So by the way, you'll notice that this is the dot-com bubble. See this here? Dot-com bubble. In the dot-com bubble, Amazon got up to about $5. Wow, that's crazy. So Amazon got up to $5 in 1999. And after the dot-com bubble collapsed, Amazon went down to 50 cents. That's crazy. 40 cents. Dang. So imagine buying a bunch of Amazon even when it was $5, right? And then dot-com bubble pops, Amazon collapses to that. Now, if you remember that time, I wasn't investing at this time, but I was an adult in 1999, 2000, 2001. And I remember when the dot-com bubble happened and everybody was yapping about it, talking about it. It's so ironic because when you listen to people now, it's the exact same as what happens and is discussed about crypto. Okay? And I believe that Bitcoin is the new version of all of this stuff. Bitcoin will be more valuable than Amazon, Apple, and Google stocks. Okay? So when dot-com bubble happens, everybody says, look at the internet. All you people thought internet businesses were going to be the next big thing. You're so stupid. That was on the news. And people like Kramer and who's that other New York Times goblin who's always wrong that said that the internet would never be popular. The New York Times official prize-winning economist who gets everything wrong. Whatever that guy's name is, right? He was saying the same stuff too. The internet will never be, I'm an intellectual. The internet will never be popular. There will never be internet businesses. We saw the dot-com bubble. It's over. And then look at the chart. What happened was it was just early. It wasn't over. It was early. And imagine riding Amazon from 50 cents to $4 back to 40 cents. That's a massive collapse in the price. And when it collapsed, everyone said it's dead. It's over. There's not going to be thriving online businesses. And when Bezos and everybody back in the 90s was pushing that, they weren't wrong. It was just too early. The technology and all that had not advanced to the point where they could feasibly do this, and not enough people were online yet. Connections were not fast enough yet. Back in 1999, it was all dial-up. Right? Remember that? So it took about a decade, okay, we'll say from around here So you could have bought Amazon at 40 cents back here. And I'm guessing that if you'd even put in $10,000, which is not that much for investments, right? Let's see. If you'd have bought $10,000 of Amazon back at that time, let's see. 40 cents. That would give you 4,000 shares of Amazon. That would give you $1 million, you see, right now. So 4,000 shares of Amazon 25 years ago. Only just a $10,000 investment, which is a small level of investment. Right now would give you almost $1 million, right under that. Now, if you had gone bigger and done $100,000 into Amazon, that'd be 40,000 shares times 211. You would have $10 million. So you would have had to have held it, but $100,000, it was more obviously in the year 2000, but you could have sold a property. You could have, cashed in gold, something like that, and just stacked up and let 40,000 shares of Amazon sit there for 25 years, and you'd already have $10 million. And I'm not even into stocks. I don't even look at stocks. It's super boring to me. What about Apple? Almost the same scenario. Okay. Around the .com crash, Apple goes to 40 cents. Okay. So same principle. And it's what? It's even worth more than Amazon. I mean, so just even basic bitch stonks teaches you that putting your savings into this kind of stuff, which I don't do stocks, dude. Even putting your money into this is better off than having it in dollars. What about gold? Okay, what about gold boomers? I'm pretty sure gold did not even come close to performing like that. Let's take a look. Why does this not show the price of gold in 2000? So $280 in 2000, and what's gold today? Like 3,000. So you get a 10x, basically. That's it. So from 280 to 2080, that's a 10x. In 25 years, a 10x. That's weak sauce, dude. And what is this? 100x? Like Apple stock would have paid you. Do you want a 100x or a 10x? And I've got boomers sitting here arguing with me that gold is better than stocks in the Bitcoin. Gold is better than the we're going to be on a Spanish galleon, and we're going to sail around, and we're going to use the Spanish doubloons in the future. The future's going to have flying Spanish galleons, and you're going to unload with a levitation device. It won't be a problem to have gold because they'll have a levitation device. You'll fly your space Spanish galleon ship, and it'll land, and then they'll levitate the gold off with the ship in a giant chest. A giant levitating chest. Like, come on. What? Even mega gold boomer Peter Schiff admitted today that it makes sense to have a Bitcoin reserve. He does. By the way, if it makes sense to do it, why would you admit that you don't want it? Why would I invest in a person who says that I don't want to do the things that make sense? That's like, what? Did Peter Schiff even think before he put that tweet out? It's weird. Anyway, now, compare the 10x. A 10x in 25 years is freaking pitiful, dude. 10x in 25 years. Bitcoin is a 20,000x in 15 years. Do you want to, I mean, gold boomers would prefer a 10x in 25 years to a 20,000x in 15 years. But it's still going to go to zero. I'm waiting for the day, Bobby C says for $5, when everybody is panicking because Bitcoin crashes to 500,000. Yeah, it could happen. I mean, I don't know if this is something people are debating because we don't know yet. We've not really seen this. But we don't know, right, if when we get to the era of $1 million Bitcoin, will we still see that volatility? A lot of people think, with good reason, that as Bitcoin becomes more and more universal, popular, and as it's used, that the wild volatility will begin to kind of lessen. So that seems plausible to me, but again, we don't know. We could have a scenario where, you know, Bitcoin hits $1 million and then there's some crash and it, you know, we're back down to 500,000. It's certainly possible. But there's also a good argument to be made that volatility will go down as there's mass adoption. And again, all of this is very new. This is a different paradigm. This is what people don't understand, is that Bitcoin is not just a speculative thing that you bet on. It's the new paradigm of money. That's what people don't understand. And that's why once people do understand that, they, like Jack Mahlers, like myself, try to live only on Bitcoin. That's why. Because everything that's not in fiat, unless you're having to pay your taxes and your bills, is losing value over time. In fact, I accidentally pulled this chart up the other day. This is the Bitcoin to US dollar chart. Now watch this. So if I look at it today, oh, it just went down 1%. Well, actually it went up quite a bit in the last 5 days, right? So in the last 5 days, we are up, right, 10%. But we don't want to pay attention to the immediate chart because we're not day traders. We don't care about the day-to-day fluctuations. I want to see the Bitcoin performance, right, about this over 15 years. Zoom out. Now watch this. How has the US dollar performed against Bitcoin in 15 years? Look at that. Let that chart blow your mind. Do you understand this chart? This is which one performs better? Bitcoin, US dollar. Well, at the beginning of Bitcoin, the dollar was massively, right? People would rather have $1 than a Bitcoin because one Bitcoin was worth 0.002 cents, not even a penny. So the dollar in the year 20, what year was this? 2016, right? It was that low, 2016. It performed, so, excuse me, that's Bitcoin price, I should say. That's not pennies. So $1 US got you, no, actually it was very little Bitcoin. I don't know why this is only going back to 2016. But look at the performance of the dollar against Bitcoin over time. Does that make sense? So the dollar is losing to Bitcoin. Does that make sense? Do you understand that chart? The dollar versus Bitcoin is down 99%. What about Ethereum? What about all the altcoins? Oh, the altcoins. Ethereum's value versus Bitcoin's value. Down 64% all time.
Well, what about Cardano? Oh, what about Cardano? Oh.
There were a couple spikes, and for whatever reason, I think this only goes back to 2017. If it was the full chart, it would be worse. It's still down. This, for whatever reason, this doesn't show. Maybe that's when, did Cardano begin in 2017? Okay. But what I'm arguing is that this chart will also eventually see red. Cardano will not win against Bitcoin long term. Ripple against Bitcoin. Even with all the news about Ripple, even with all this nonsense, Ripple is still basically equal to Bitcoin. If you had put all of your money into Ripple when it began versus all of your money into Bitcoin, you would be even, right? Which is, again, means that it hasn't outperformed Bitcoin. And in the future, I don't think it will outperform Bitcoin, because I don't think any of these centralized scam coins are going to go anywhere. Solana might have beat to date be beating Bitcoin. Let's see. It's not even on the chart. I don't know why it won't pull up a Sol to BTC chart. So let's try this. Try it this way. What about Bitcoin Cash's performance against Bitcoin? Oh, down 95%. And all the Roger Ver people yapping at me all the time. Bitcoin Cash is the real Bitcoin. You're pushing a scam. I'm pushing a scam. Your coin is down 95% to Bitcoin. What are you talking about? Let's pick another one. What's another? I don't know why Solana's not on here. So even if at the present moment, there might be this or that coin that is equal to or a little bit better performing than Bitcoin overall, as time goes by, it won't be the case. Because you would have to have these coins essentially taking over or surpassing the potential and value of Bitcoin, and I don't think any of these will. There's not even anything else on here that's like even close to competitive. All the Monero people, oh wow, look at that. Monero down 83% against Bitcoin. I wish I'd have put all my money into Monero, because I'd only be down 83% versus putting my money into Bitcoin. Let's see. We got multiple super chats here. I'll make sure I didn't miss anything. Lakime, $5. What's your favorite icon picture? I don't know if I have a favorite icon. I mean, we have a lot of icons I like a lot. I like the Christ the High Priest icon. I like the Daniel Apocalypse icon. Those are a couple of my favorites. Christos and Esty, $5. We need a cringecore karaoke night. You know, the problem with doing the karaoke is that almost all of them ding the copyright. So it's like you can't. I mean, I tried karaoke night twice, and all it does is just ding the copyrights. And when you ding the copyright, not only does it not monetize the stream, it also deboosts it in the algorithm. So it would be cool though if there was some way to do, for whatever reason, that version of Return of the Mac it doesn't ding the copyright. I don't know why. Sira Spitama, $5. What is your response to boomers saying that Zelensky sees in power in Ukraine is no different than Churchill postponing elections in World War II? Well, I don't have a problem criticizing Churchill and saying he was a tyrant too. I mean, Churchill was an operative of Lord Ralph. And I think you can demonstrate that from history. My homies call me Smooth. $5. Can we not agree that Oasis is the great? I think you did that twice, or is that the same? No, that's the old super chat. Nublet, $5. My father-in-law plays stocks. He does well. He says Bitcoin is a volatile digital nonsense. Even after I showed him the lifetime trends, it's sad. Well, I can already say that your father-in-law is a boomer and Bitcoin is boomer kryptonite. Crypto is boomer kryptonite. It's crypto night to the boomers. Nicholas. All right, now the computer's freezing up. I'm pulling up the super chats again. Nicholas Clinton. This is Bill Clinton's illegitimate son. How dare you, Nicholas? How dare you get on the stream? I'm just kidding. 2 things. Questions for Muslims. How many hairs are on Allah's uncreated chin? Chinny chin chin. That's actually a pretty good question. I mean, except that the hadiths say that Allah is a young, beardless, blonde man. I just joined the stream. I want to get into Bitcoin. Where should I start? Go to my Clips channel, and we have a introductory lecture on Bitcoin. I'll show you right here. He's one of the co-authors of Thank God for Bitcoin, this book, which is a good little book if you want to read a book on it. And we summarize that book in, if you go over here to my Clips channel, Live Streams and Absurdities, Bitcoin Basics. This is the basics. And right there, you can watch that. And if you want a link, in the show description is a link to Swan Bitcoin, which is my affiliate link there. Where is it at? Right here. Now, to all the people who are into all the, I don't care if you want to buy altcoins. I don't care. It doesn't. I'm not self-righteous about Bitcoin supremacy. I don't call myself a Bitcoin maximalist. I call myself a Bitcoin supremacist, just because if people want to gamble on meme coins and altcoins, that's their decision. I don't care. I've traded altcoins before. Looking back, it probably would have been better off if I had never traded and just stacked Bitcoin. But it is what it is, and we ended up still doing well. So I'm not going to say you can't do this, but I think that most of those things are just, it's really not that different than going to the roulette table. And if people want to go to the roulette table, they can. So when people get mad in the chat and they come and they want to try to convince people to get Ripple, I'm not going to get Ripple. I don't care about Ripple. If you want to play the odds, the house is going to win. And you would probably be better off, rather than stacking Hawktua, by taking your money and using it as a savings account. Now, the promise of the meme coins and all this kind of stuff is that very few people are actually going to make a lot of money. 90 to 95% of people that go into crypto lose money. It's literally 90 to 95%. So the most likely way to not lose your money, and I can't tell you what to do because I'm not a financial advisor, but what I chose to do was to just, for the last 8 years, stack Bitcoin. And that worked out well. Most of the trading, most of the speculating, it's just too risky. It's not worth the time and energy of the risk. you're with Dave Ramsey on this. Dave Ramsey is a boomer idiot who doesn't know or understand what Bitcoin is. So boomers think that this is all the same thing. Bitcoin and crypto are all online gambling. No. Bitcoin is not online gambling. It is the opposite of online gambling. Again, oh my gosh, like all of these throwaway boomer comments, the people who put, like, you guys just don't get it. Oh my gosh. You know what? As somebody was saying the other day, if people at this stage don't get Bitcoin, they're not going to get it. And it's going to be too late when they do get it. And then they'll wish that they did. And most of the time, the people who are mad and hate Bitcoin are the people who haven't bought it or didn't get in or whatever. Cursed by coincidence, $5. Jay, I have a small sum of money in Bitcoin on Coinbase. Should I continue on that platform, or is there a benefit to having multiple wallets with Bitcoin? I mean, if it's a small amount and you want that as your burner account, it's not going to matter. But the more that goes up, you should think about the principle, not your keys, not your crypto. So whatever's laying and sitting there on Coinbase, it's not likely to be hacked or taken or seized, but it is always a possibility. And so it's a lot less likely to be hacked and seized in your own cold storage. So the more that you put into Bitcoin, the more you're going to want to have a cold storage wallet. Dr. Vagisil, $1. Zelensky is proof that giving money to homeless guys is pointless because they will literally spend $500 billion on Bugazis and gaslight you the next day, and to try to make you feel like shit for not giving your underwear too. Very good comment. I think we will have one more cycle of high volatility, Bobby C says, with Bitcoin, and then it will have a stable growth. Yeah, I think that's what I was trying to get at. The more that nation states and corporations adopt it, people will see it as safe. Exactly. So I think that, we could have volatility when we have the $1 million Bitcoin, but as we get to, the $10 million era of Bitcoin in 10 years, and I believe Bitcoin will be $10 million in 10 or 15 years. It might take longer as it grows to get to 10 million. So even though we've been at a pretty consistent 10x every 5 years ish, it might take a little longer to go from 1 million to 10 million. It might not. Maybe it just takes over the world in 10 years, right? I mean, who knows? If it takes over the world in 10 years, we're good, dude. We're good in 5 years, man. That's why I'm so happy for today's announcement. We're good, man. Thank God. I worked really hard throughout my life, doing all kinds of different jobs. And one of the reasons that I understood why it was important to invest money was that all the conspiracy stuff, all the Federal Reserve, fiat, all that information, it is useful information, but only to teach you that the game is rigged. If the game is rigged, then I have how many options as a lower middle class individual when I was young of figuring out how to get out of that? Well, I can start a business. I can do real estate, or I can look at investing. Okay, that's about the only. That's literally like the only 3-ish options, right? I don't know if it, unless you have a rich uncle that you're going to inherit money from, there's not a whole lot of options for middle class people to leave the middle class. Real estate is very difficult. It's a huge hassle, especially rental properties and all this kind of stuff. I know now that we have some of that, and I want to get rid of that. I want to get rid of the rental properties. Just literally put it into Bitcoin. Don't even want a rental property anymore. Somebody did have a good, it was Grok. Get this. So I was asking Grok these questions just to see what Grok would say. And Grok actually had a really good answer, believe it or not. And I never even thought about this. I wouldn't do this. But the question I asked to Grok was, how would a person who's middle class, what is their best possible scenario for becoming, say, multimillionaire or tens of millions of millionaire? And Grok said basically what I was pointing out, that, well, you've only got a few possible options to most likely get there in 5 to 10 years. One of the options was something interesting I never thought of, which was that if you could save up in a few years anywhere from 100 to 500,000 or something like that, I wouldn't do this, but this was an interesting idea. Grok said you could take out a loan for multiple $1 million, like say $5 million. So you're going to try to get a $5 million loan from a bank. You're going to do a down payment of 500,000. You're going to get a rental unit, right, of like, I don't know, however many units you can buy for $5 million. I have no idea. Maybe you find a nice apartment townhouse thing for sale with, I don't know, 5 units, 4 units. You invest in that, fix it up, rent it out. The rent covers the loan payments and maybe even more. And the loan gets paid down fast enough that in 5 to 10 years, you sell the rental property that you paid on the loan $500,000 for. Maybe the rental property goes up to from $5 million, you sell it for 8 or 10. So you've netted then enough to pay off the loan, and you come away with several $1 million. Right. So basically that was Grok's thing, right? And the other thing Grok said was you have to find you either put a sizable amount into Bitcoin or you gamble with an altcoin. that was like Grok's 3 answers for multimillionaire in 5 to 10 years. I can't think of any. I mean, robbing a bank and organized crime. Like, I don't think I'm joking. Like, well, I don't know what other ways you could even do it that quick. So now here's the thing with the rental property. If you're going to put a $500,000 down payment on a multi-million-dollar loan, first of all, I don't know many banks that even do that. Like, you'd have to have somebody with money backing you up. That seems it seems very unlikely that in this high interest rate climate that a bank would be willing to do that. But so even if you could find that for the sake of argument, now you're basically wedded to this stupid rental property units that you have. All the renters and their whining and their noise and their trash and all this, like, you're going to have to deal with all this for the next 5 years. That's going to be a huge hassle. I mean, you could have the pipes burst and the whole thing could be, a big disaster very easily. Now, probably not. You could probably do well with that if you really put, all of your time, effort, and energy into these rental units or whatever. But it's just way too risky, and there's way too many things that could go wrong versus if you understand that same amount of money in Bitcoin within 5 to 10 years. So had you put $500,000 into Bitcoin, $100,000, whatever your initial amount is, if there's a likely, 5x and then another 5x, excuse me, 10x in 5 years, and another 10x in 5 years. That's 100x in 10 years, right? If that's likely, and even if it doesn't do 100x, even if it does a 40x, I mean, that's amazing. There's no other thing that can give you that type of return in 5 to 10 years. At least there's no other thing that has the potential, the high potential to give you that much of a return. And Bitcoin is way less risky and volatile than an altcoin gamble. So even though, okay, maybe you could do better in 5 to 10 years in the casino of altcoins, But that's so risky and so shaky and unsure that you're much better off to just go with Bitcoin and wait 5 to 10 years. So that's like, what else? Like, there's not a whole lot of options here. Glitchy Rhythm, $2. Can you give a rundown on Doge? If somebody had a bunch of Doge early on and they, gambled on that and did well, like, I don't have any anger or issues with, people doing that kind of stuff. It's just too impossible to time the market with something like those things, unless you just happened to be lucky or got in early or something like that. I don't expect Doge to like go to take over or whatever, like goobers. Like, there's no way Doge is going to defeat Bitcoin. I mean, that kind of stuff is like crazy. It does look like you would have done, if you had put all of your money into Doge day one, as it stands right now, you would have more money. You would have 140% more than if you just had Bitcoin. But the problem with that gamble is that the volatility and the chances of success in something like Doge are way less likely than in something like Bitcoin. And I remember when Doge popped on the scene and when people really started talking about it, when it, first started popping off. I mean, nobody thought that it was going to be even to where it is. And so it would have just been like really extremely risky. And just not a very wise investment. And even in the long term, it doesn't have the fundamentals that Bitcoin has, is what I'm trying to say. So I don't think that in 5 to 10 years, you could bank on Doge giving you a 5 to 10x or 100x. I feel like you could bank pretty confidently on a 10 to 100x in 5 to 10 years in Bitcoin. Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. $2.99. You got pre-subbed, or he just says pre-subbed. Thank you. Backsleep Blanton, $20. J Dyer, king of YouTube, dishing truth and wealth to the people. No, Doge won't take over. How could Doge take over? That's crazy, dude. What are you talking about? Doge to take over Bitcoin? All right, let's look at Doge market cap. $33 billion market cap. Bitcoin is what? 2 trillion? That's like an old chart. Let's see what it is here. Almost 2 trillion. So $33 billion market cap is probably not going to take over a $2 trillion market cap. Elon says a meme could take over. Okay, well, if you want to put your money on that, go for it. Hades Undead, $10. Investing in AI stocks in case the technocracy rolls in. Investing in Bitcoin in case the financial revolution happens. Either way, it's a win-win. That's an interesting strategy. You could bank on both AI stocks and BTC if you wanted to try that out. Let's see, how's Nvidia? So on the year, Nvidia is down 10%. Up 50%, I should say. That's year to date, excuse me. You would be up pretty good on the year if you've been doing NVIDIA. If you did 5 years, you're wealthy. How high could they go? I don't know. That's a good question. There are also AI cryptos, but I mean, that's just a whole other domain of like super speculation. And most of those don't even do anything. So it's just speculative, but yeah, that's an interesting play. It's like, but like if I had a giant chunk of change and I was going to say, okay, I'm going to put half this chunk in AI stocks and the other half in Bitcoin, I would like always be fretting, wishing that the chunk in AI stocks was in Bitcoin. Now, 5 years ago, you're right, that would have been a wise move. But it's always hard to figure out, like, is it going to be a wise move for the next 5 years? Probably. Like, probably some of these will do really good. But I don't even, follow the stonks well enough to know, like, would you just buy a giant chunk of NVIDIA and hope that it continues to do well for the next 5 years, or would you go for something else? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know enough about stonks. Dr. Vagisil, $2. The U.S. will direct all wasted energy from flare gas and renewable energy to mine bitcoins. The profit from this 100% monetized energy will be distributed to citizens as a dividend, like Alaska does with oil drilling. That would be an interesting idea. I mean, it would be interesting if Trump proposed something like that, or Doge proposed something like that. But I've never heard of that. But that'd be interesting to see. Jordan Lofgren, $2. Read before saying this on a stream. Uh-oh. How do I notify you of a typo? I'm sure there's a lot of typos on my website, dog. Mr. Smirks, $5. You have less viewers when you talk about Bitcoin. Do people like being poor? Exactly. I talked to quite a few famous influencer media people, right? I talked to a very famous media influencer person. It wasn't Alex, somebody else. And I was trying to talk to them about Bitcoin. They weren't interested. I mean, they said, I am interested in that, but I don't know anything about it, and I don't have the time and energy to get into it. Well, I said that in 2015, and I regretted it. And I made the time in 2017, thank God. I know many super smart people smarter than me. At least smarter than me in certain areas. Most of them don't think about Bitcoin or know anything about it or care about it. It's really odd. I'm just thinking through all my super smart friends. A lot of people think I don't have extra cash laying around or whatever, so I don't care about investing. Well, I guarantee you the person that's thinking that or saying that is wasting money on something. Maybe you smoke cigarettes. Quit smoking and you could put that money into an investment. I guarantee you those people waste money on things that they're saying is an excuse. That, well, I don't have any money. I can't do it. I don't have any money. There's no extra money. Now, some people have literally no extra money, which is fine. I understand that. But even if you had no extra money, you could learn and begin to plan when you do get some money, how to invest it, you see. So, great point, Mr. Smirks. It's a mystery that I keep pondering. And I ask Jamie about this all the time. I'm like, why do people not understand this? Why do they not think about this or have a curiosity about it? I cannot fathom it. What are your predictions about Bitcoin crossing 100K again and not coming back? Who knows, man? There's just no way to predict Bitcoin in the sense of like the short term. I don't think we're going to see 50K again. Glitchy Rhythm, $2. Oh, we did that Doge question. Bobby C, $2. The only stock that I'm really into is MicroStrategy. Yeah, I came really close to trying to get some MicroStrategy. I bought some Tesla a few years ago, and actually, thank God, I dumped it right before Bitcoin went even way higher. So that was a good move to get rid of the Tesla stock and put that all into Bitcoin. Fry is $3. Bitcoin holding wallet over a low yield a savings account. I'm not trying to make fun of you, man, but dude, savings account? Does that even exist? A low yield savings account versus Bitcoin? Bro. I mean, yes. This is the first time in my life I've accumulated a relatively sizable savings. I have no clue what to do with it. I'm not going to give you financial advice in terms of your savings account. All I can say is what I do is I put everything into Bitcoin. I'm not going to tell you what to do, though, because as soon as something happens, you put all your money into something, it goes down, there's volatility, you freak out, you blame me, and this is what happens. People do this. So I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. But again, I converted to a Bitcoin believer years ago. I've never looked back. I can't fathom a person believing in fiat anymore. And every year that you leave your money in dollars, the purchasing power and the value of the dollar is tanking. So, again, people should listen to the Bitcoin basics. Here we go. Here come the gold boomers. How can anybody make sense of buying gold to me? From 2000 to 2025, gold is a 10x. 25 years gives you a 10x. 15 years of Bitcoin gives you a, what was it, 40,000, 20,000x? Can a boomer not understand the difference between a 10x and a 10,000x? Does no one understand this? Am I talking to 5-year-olds? Am I talking to children? This is not, people don't get this? Is BTC in the room with us now? Taxes does not take half of your Bitcoin. I don't know what you're talking about. It's manipulated. You don't think gold is manipulated? Every asset is conceivably and in some way, quote, manipulated in some degree. That has nothing to do with the fundamentals of the asset and which one is superior. All right, I'm about to have to just boot some of these idiots in the chat. This is just too... I just can't even take this low tier stuff anymore, man. These low tier slow boys. I'll invest in rare fish. That's good. Okay, maybe that guy lives in France or something, but the government doesn't take 50% of your Bitcoin. What are you even talking about? Everyone wants fast money. Dude, 15 years is not fast money, but 15 years of a 40,000x or a 20,000x versus 25 years of a 10x is like, good grief. A savings account takes half of your yield. I didn't even think savings account even pay you anything. Does this even exist anymore? Is it like 0.5%? I wonder, would I rather make 0.5% yield or would I rather make a 10x in 5 years? Invest in whole grains. Yeah, so we're talking about people who don't understand the difference between a 10x and a 10,000x. That's amazing. Wow. Well, tonight didn't really end up being about Gene Hackman. I guess we ended up just totally going into Bitcoin, but that's fine because, I mean, I'd rather talk to 600, 700 people, 800 people who are interested in the news of the day, which nobody talked about the actual big news of the day, which is the future of money and the announcement of a Bitcoin strategic reserve from Trump. That should be the biggest news of the day, not whatever cocaine Zelensky's snorting. I don't know what's going on with Gene. There could have been, they initially said his passing was suspicious. I guess it remains to be seen exactly what that means and what's going on. I do not assume or make any connection between any quote conspiracy thing. We don't know that, and we can't jump. Here's the boomer. If I can't hold it in my hands, it ain't real, says Ed for $2. And I can't even tell if that's like a joke or if that's an actual boomer. Esoteric Hollywood 3 is at the publisher, and it is in its infancy. It's rough cut. Looking good. Look at this. Oh, yeah. And if you see an older analysis, it's all rewritten. So don't worry. It's not like I would say the majority of this book is brand new. Look at this. Look at this Esoteric Hollywood 3. Oh, yeah, baby. Look at that. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Don't worry. I'm just giving you a little foreshadowing, a little taste of finally finishing the book. There will be pre-orders. I don't have pre-orders yet. So a lot of people were asking me, where do I sign up for the pre-orders? The book will not be available, nor will the pre-orders be available for a few months. I just wanted to let you guys see that it's looking pretty cool. I think it will be a fitting third installment of the trilogy. So we've got, Hollywood Spy chapters. We've got comic books and Christopher Nolan chapters. We've got all kinds of good stuff in Hollywood, Esoteric Hollywood 3. So just giving you a little taste. When we get closer to the pre-sale, I will go ahead and talk about the book in more detail. Signing up for pre-orders, I'll probably do it anywhere from a month or two early. So as soon as I get the word back from the publisher that, we're a month or two out from the first run, the first print, it will be able for, you guys will be able to get in early. And yes, everything that you order on my website is signed. Okay, so guys, you don't have to ask me. Every day people ask me if I'll sign the books. Again, every book from my website is signed. That's the advantage of buying from the website. You don't have to request it. If you have a specific thing you want me to say, to sign it to your dad, sign it to Billy Bobby, sign it to Bill Cosby, sign it to, whatever. Okay, but every day people ask me, how do I get a signed copy? Every book from the website is signed. That's the advantage. That's why I offer it at the website, right? So it costs more at my website because I don't make any money when Jeff Bezos sells my book, right? If you buy it on Amazon, I don't get hardly anything from that. That's why you buy it from me and you get it signed. That's the advantage of getting it from the website. Now I want to remind you guys too that we have a show sponsor, which is chalk.com, the best in supplementation. If you head on over to chalk.com, you can get access to my promo code's discount, which is massive, right? So let's check this out. There's an extra discount of $20 off, no, $15. And if you use the promo code JAY44LIFE, J44Life, it's a recurring subscription, but you get 44% off of that product price there, the already discounted price. You don't have to buy the Performance Stack, which is proven to boost testosterone. But it's the best thing for male energy enhancement. It does do what it says it does. I've been taking it for years. It works. If you need to up your toxic masculinity, as we all do, this is what you want. You don't have to buy the whole stack. You can buy the individual products. If you're a lady, you want to check it out. There is hormone balancing stuff over here like Female Vitality. She legit. Ashwagandha is especially good for female hormones and that kind of stuff that the ladies deal with. But our audience is primarily male. And if you're a guy and you want to boost testosterone, I would look into the Male Vitality Stack, Male Vitality Stack Ultra, or the Tonfoolery or the Daily. Either one of these are great products. And if you don't want a recurring subscription, you just want to test it out, you can use the promo code J40, that's JAY40, to get 40% off a single order, a non-subscription order. The best in supplementation, one of the best companies out there. They're an awesome red pill based company. They're the best in supplementation. Head on over to chalk.com. Use the promo code JAY40, JAY40 to get 40% off, or J44Life to get 44% off. And you can unsubscribe at any time. My run Chuck now, $5. Jay, God bless you. Have a great land. Hey, you guys too. Josiah Eliron, $2. You inspire me. Hey, man, appreciate that. That's kind words. Guys, remember, you can also subscribe to the channel, subscribe to the website to get access to the last 10 years of archive materials. What's on YouTube is a little more limited. It's more convenient if you want to become a YouTube member, yes. But at the website, you get access to everything and to all 10 years going back. Lectures on Tragedy and Hope, Plato's Republic, tons of interviews, biblical theology lectures, philosophy lectures, movie analysis. You got it. It's all there. Anyway, thank you guys. And next up, we got a couple things coming up for the members. As I told you, we would do this Carl Jung Part 2. So that will be a members talk probably tomorrow or Tuesday, depending upon what we do. You can get Esoteric Hollywood 1 and 2, signed copies in the shop. Guys, people that have book orders outstanding who have been waiting for a couple weeks, we've had to do multiple travels for the last 3 weeks because of the 2 funerals. So I've not been able to fulfill orders. Every time this happens, when I have to travel and the orders are backed up for a couple weeks, Jamie and I do all the orders. We do all the shipping. We don't have a team. We don't have employees. We are the team and the employees. So if we're traveling, I can't fulfill the orders. So when that happens, that means it's just going to be a couple weeks out. Now, there's about 15 or 20 Red Book and Esoteric Hollywood and Meta Narratives orders that are stacked up. I can't fulfill those orders because we're going to Texas and we're going to Florida. We're traveling. So that means just be patient. I have to get them in and be at a place where I know that we're going to be when the orders will come. Because when you order these from publishers, it takes a while to get there. So I have to time it as to when I'll be back in Florida, you see. That's why it's taking so long. It's not because... So when we came here, right, we weren't planning on Jamie's brother passing away. My best friend passed away. We had to come home for that funeral. Then Jamie's brother passed away. Now we go to Texas for that funeral, you see. So it's not that I'm stealing your money or not giving you a book. I don't want to steal your money or not give you a book. It's only because of the unfortunate life events that have happened. And I'm not saying that for sympathy or to try to get you to... I'm literally just saying that because that's what happened. So we will be back, and I will give you the orders, I promise you, in the next few weeks when we're back at our stable, not traveling situation. All right. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate your time with me tonight. We had a lot of fun. It was more of a fun stream and then an economic stream because the big news today was Bitcoin. You guys, it's okay. You don't have to give me your. I appreciate the well wishing and the sorrow. It's been a few weeks since all this happened in the case of my friend. So I've moved on past my friend passing away. Jamie has gotten better because of her brother, obviously. And thank you guys for your kind words. I appreciate it. But this isn't a sad day. This is actually a really happy day. Today's announcement was great news for us. Financially speaking, it's a great blessing. And hopefully you guys can learn from what we're talking about tonight to help you not have to go through intense financial struggles in life. Your life quality is a lot better when you don't have to live check to check, when you're not worried about the bills getting paid, this and that. And I think if I can educate and help people to move in that direction, I can't tell you what to do. I'm not your financial advisor. I just tell you what worked for me. Then if that happens, hopefully we can help other people to not have things that make life very difficult, especially if you have a family and kids and, you know, you're struggling. And I know that a lot of people, the economy sucks and a lot of people have to do, you know, really shitty jobs, multiple jobs, right? So we try to figure out, we try to look at ways for middle class, lower middle class people to get out of that. And there's not a lot of options outside